Hey guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for Better Call Saul Season 4, Episode 2. So, last time we had the unfortunate reveal. Obviously, we saw the fire start in the previous season, the season finale, but we had the confirmation that Charles McGill is dead. I really didn't want, I kind of thought he might die at some point through the series, but I didn't want him to die this way, right? I was hoping it would be if it was gonna be something, I'd rather it be something out of his control, right? Like, either just, he's an older guy, right? Like, maybe just older age or something like that, or, to impact Jimmy's character, have it be Jimmy starts his Saul Goodman stuff and someone gets a hold of Chuck and kills him, right? One of through the not so legal businesses that he does as Saul Goodman kind of thing. And that way it would be impactful for Jimmy's character blaming himself and stuff versus, Chuck ending it the way that he did. But that being said, last episode I did make a comment. I realized, and then I elaborated in the discussion, but I know not everyone watches the discussion, so I just wanted to elaborate real quick here. When Jimmy was rude to Howard, when Howard was giving his whole spiel to Jimmy about how everything went down in the time before his death and everything, and telling him it was a suicide, Jimmy said something rude to Howard, and I said that, I was like, wow, Jimmy, that's an asshole thing to do. I still think it was an asshole thing to do, but in the discussion of last episode, I talked about how, everyone grieves differently. Jimmy is grieving too, so I can't really blame him. So I just wanted to elaborate on that in case any of you guys just watched the reaction and then stopped and you were like, yeah, he doesn't get grief, does he, that Morthadon guy? What an idiot, I get it. It was just my gut reaction in that moment was this other guy who's grieving as well, and what Jimmy said to him was just like, damn, So, but anyway, let's get into this episode right now, shall we? All right, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. EKG beeping. Thank you, subtitles. Is this, the only person I can think of that'd be in a hospital would be Hector, right? Took me a second to think of the name for some reason. Pupils. Yep. Where are your lights, man? Or are you not a doctor, sir? Or are you? Where's your lab coat? You're supposed to do that kind of test when they're alive and you ask, when they're awake, alive, yeah. When they're awake and you ask them if they can feel it, don't you? When you, touch their foot, it's to see if they still have feeling. Unless he was looking for, some kind of, muscle spasm or something. So they have, a private doctor taking a look. I take it then, considering they're in the dark and they don't want to be seen by these orderlies. Or I guess they're nurses, right? Orderlies are in I don't know. I know orderlies a lot are used in psych wards and stuff, but are they used in hospitals too? Ugh. Uh, Is that what Gus is really thinking? This isn't enough of a payback for him. He wants Hector to suffer more. Alright, if Gus isn't happy about this, then that does not spell good news for Nacho. He wanted to be the one to, like, even if this is, like, along the lines of what he wanted to be the one to either orchestrate it or to do it himself, kind of thing. He doesn't want it to be Nacho who decided to do it. That's what the vibe I got. Interesting. You know, Jimmy's still gonna be grieving in his own way, I imagine. He was all chipper, right? At the end of the last episode. It seemed off. Obviously, his way of grieving, I imagine. I can imagine he'd actually be happy that Chuck was dead, even after their last interaction. Yeah. I think it's definitely a form of grief, right? Of like he probably doesn't want to think about it too much, so he's like moving a mile a minute. He doesn't even want to give Kim like a opening to talk. Really? Like not really any small talk, doesn't want to hear like how are you doing and stuff, because that's just gonna make him think about it, right? Keeping himself busy, that's a very common thing to do after you lose someone. Oh, his father. I was wondering who this was, and I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't super paying attention of like the area to realize it was this place. Oh shit! And give your old man a heart attack. Not even a word. Is he giving the money back? Or is he just working? In the long run, it's not that much money to keep anyway, right? I mean, those are 50s. Well, at most, that was like $2,000 or something, I'd say, seemingly. All right, job interview time. Oh no. I get it, man. Started losing my hair years ago. Friggin' young for it, too. Sucked. That's when I started just cutting it off. Actually, you can see the progression in the channel. Some of my really early videos have me. I used to have like really thick hair, and then as you see like my later reaction videos and stuff before I started shaving like this, you see how much thinner my hair is, and then I just decided to just shave it off. I thought about growing my hair out again and seeing what it looks like nowadays, because I've been doing this for maybe a year or two now. Showing that you know your stuff is pretty we saw that early on. He did a contract. Or not, I said contract, didn't I? A will. Probably true. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's gonna have to explain this. You have to sell. Yeah. I imagine Jimmy would be very good at job interviews. He is such a way with words. Say what people want to hear. Yeah, I think he's gonna get a lot of that, like, you were a lawyer, why aren't you now, kind of thing, right? Why the look back? Interesting. He wants to try to. They said a week, right? Get back to you within a week. He wants it sooner. Hmm. Showing him he's selling their own machines to them. That was pretty good. Unless they're gonna come back and say no. I can't believe the subtitles. I like how we couldn't really hear what they were saying, but the subtitles showed what they were saying. It's interesting. Or at least I couldn't hear it. Jimmy, what are you doing, buddy? Is this like... Hmm. This is him lashing out from grief, right? I feel like, anyway. I felt like he worked hard to get that. He even went back in, and then... Hmm. Is he... Huh. So he's just gonna go to the next one. I wasn't sure if he was calling to cancel the next one, if maybe he just had like a change of heart. Hmm. Gotta feel bad for those guys. Jimmy just like sold them like crazy, and then got them all hyped up on the idea of hiring him, like right there, right then, and then just shit on it. Hey. Hmm. Does it have to do with him infiltrating that building before and telling them about their bad security? Or is this a Gus and like because of Hector situation? That was a trippy angle. Like I thought it had a bearing on the size of like what we were looking at as it was like panning down, and then I wasn't sure anymore. Ended up being like a lot bigger than I thought it would be. There are several rooms to the left. How do you know which one? This is kind of ominous. I think Mike has a point. Oh, Mike. Hmm. I wonder what Gus would say. Like, he probably has no idea that this is happening, I would imagine. Because it's such small scale, right? It's not a big deal. So she was handling it. I wonder if who Gus would agree with, Lydia or Mike, on that matter. That is, definitely unsettling. We called in a new doctor. Damn. Gus pulled some strings. Alright. With the creepy, quiet boys near you, too. Alright. Asking these two quiet boys to speak to him. Alright. No, we'll just all stand here quietly. This is so funny. What do I say? They're so creepy. You guys could talk to him too, you know. At least one of you can speak, we know that. And your family. Probably have more to say. Ugh. Nice. Gus? I like that he puts in, like, legwork. I mean, I don't know if it's just part of like a cover or something, but okay, so he knows then. She likes keeping everything in order, doesn't she? Oh well. Guess Gus doesn't care too much. Not as much as she does. Have we seen him in Breaking Bad? You don't need to read that stuff. We're just gonna blur it. I wouldn't understand any of it anyway. Hmm. Alright. Who is Victor again? That wasn't Nacho's, like, real name, right? Maybe it's the other guy that is usually with Hector and Nacho. I guess we'll see. Or is it one of the twins? Or I guess they're not twins, but one of the brothers. Oh, is this his will? Yeah, obviously, pretty much everything is going to be left to, like, her, right? And not Jimmy, I'm guessing. I can't imagine Chuck would leave anything to Jimmy. I don't know that he's ever liked him. Hmm. Interesting. So he did get something. $5,000. Yep. That makes sense. Oh, shit. Interesting. Cut him out of the will, so that means he was going to leave something to him, but then cut him out. Definitely some awkward tension there. Uh, shit. Damn. Leave us alone. Yeah. Whew. Damn. That was brilliantly acted by Kim, the actress that plays Kim. I'm not good with names. I'm lucky I can remember character names. Me too, man. Without interruption. Gonna hold off on showing him for now. I wonder what it says. I really do. Hmm. Jimmy works hard when he puts his mind to it. All right, well, the food though. What about the food? Well. Guess he went for the other meal. What are you up to, Jimmy? Huh. The value of the thing he saw earlier. Is he gonna try to like steal it, or is he? They said they were gonna like get rid of it. Hmm. Gonna try to get Mike to steal it for him? I don't know that Mike's really interested in that kind of thing right now, but I guess we'll see. You're gonna do the same thing like they did last time. Take 6. That's where they had the gun pointed at him before, right? Is that all that's out? Is 5? You ain't getting 6 this time. Hmm. How far will he push this? Well, Nacho had to play the part. I don't think he liked it, though. Oh shit. Oh shit. Gus doing it himself, too. Damn. I own you. Oh, God, that would suck so much. Just struggling to get air. Fuck, man, that's so intimidating. Gus, man. That actor is so fucking good. Jeez. Oh, what a way to end the episode. Holy crap. Alrighty, guys, that is it for episode 2. Oh, alright, so. I mean, first thing I want to talk about is, might as well just go to, like, Kim's part of the episode, right? With, like, what she said to Howard. A lot of it is stuff that I didn't really think of, like coming to Jimmy, like Howard coming to Jimmy and telling him that he thinks that Chuck might have killed himself, like, the day after or whatever it was, like that soon kind of thing. Honestly, last episode when I heard Howard saying it, I felt like, okay, yeah, Jimmy has a right to know all this. That's kind of what I felt like. And it might have been what Howard was thinking, right? But, obviously here, her going there, Chuck writing him out of the will and stuff like that, she expected it. And then asking if Jimmy would want to go through his things, and once again, to me, I felt like that is a lot of the times when someone dies, you go through their stuff and you divvy it up and everything, and like I feel like that's typically a common thing, but it is a situation where one day you tell him that, oh, your brother might have killed himself in that house, and then you're saying, like, oh, you can go through it and look everything if you want. And it's like, that definitely would be painful. It definitely wouldn't be easy. Once again, I genuinely don't think that Howard was trying to hurt Jimmy, right? I mean, she made a good point where he never told that theory to Rebecca, who was his wife, and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's the way Kim viewed it, I think I agree with her, but I don't think that's what Howard meant to do. Like, I don't think Howard was just trying to screw Jimmy over one last time. I think he genuinely thought he was doing the right thing, but maybe didn't think it through too much, kind of thing. But her talking about how the reason why you went there and did it is because you were feeling guilty and you wanted to unload that guilt onto Jimmy, right? So I mean, it's definitely interesting, and like I said, I never viewed it in that way, right? Like the way Kim portrayed it, but I do partially agree with her and everything. So, um, it was definitely crazy. It was well acted, and yeah, I like how I actually have the episode paused on Netflix right now, and it has like the summary. In reading that now, fed up Kim unloads on Howard is what it says in the description. So very accurate. But but yeah, I mean, when you're, I don't know, like everyone handles grief differently, and obviously it's a very weird situation because, excuse me, uh, uh, what's it called? It's also a weird situation because Jimmy and Chuck were on such like weird terms where they were still family. Jimmy still cared for him, he still went there and tried to apologize and stuff like that, but I don't know that Chuck ever really cared for Jimmy. I don't know. I mean, he was definitely in the will at one point, right? Because she said, like, I thought Jimmy was never going to have been in the will, but what happened was, I imagine somewhere down the line, whether it was the recent events or something like that, Chuck decided to remove Jimmy from there. And if you're gonna remove someone without, I can't remember what she said. She said something like without doing like a certain thing, I think it was, then you have to pay like a minimum of like 4 or 5 thousand or something like that. So Jimmy would have got $5,000. But yeah, interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting the way that, I know I keep saying interesting, that's my bad. But the way Jimmy and Kim and really everyone's handling it. Like I said, I genuinely like the look on Howard's face. I don't think he meant to do what he was doing. The way that Jimmy is kind of moving at 100 miles per hour. He, came in and sold these guys thoroughly on letting him take the job, but then blowing it up in their faces and everything. It's like, it feels like Jimmy is just like kind of unloading his emotions, like, I don't know, like he's trying to like distract himself, but then he kind of unloaded a little bit there. It's definitely, I don't fully understand it. I haven't had much loss of like that close. I've definitely lost family members and everything, but I don't know. And everyone, the thing is, everyone handles grief differently. So even if I had lost someone close to me like that, it's very possible I would handle grief much differently than he would. Everyone handles it differently. So, I'm just wondering if this is like, I imagine it's part of the grieving process, right? Of him like going and nailing that job interview. He pretty much had it, right? And like they were gonna go sign the papers to have him start right away and everything. Like, and then he just turned it down, but then went to other job interviews. I think really what he's just trying to do is he's trying to distract himself, right? In whatever way that he can. And if he settles down and takes his job, that's going to be less things to distract himself than going all across the city on a million job interviews in one day, kind of thing, right? So, um, and I even think that Kim might have picked. Like, I wonder if Kim picked up on it at all, right? Like with him trying to distract himself from everything. Where as soon as he took a break, like he walks in the house, he gets the food prepared, he sits down, they turn on the movie, and there's that like one instant that things are finally starting to slow down, and then Kim, makes the move on him, and I imagine they banged one out. Once again, another thing to distract you, kind of thing, rather than sitting there watching a movie. And that's the thing, is when you're watching a movie, a lot of the times your mind wanders and you start thinking about things, and maybe you're not necessarily paying attention to the movie, and it's not really like the best way to distract yourself, kind of thing. So I wonder if like Kim kind of saw that and went for the distraction on that, but I'm not sure. So I'm really interested to see what happens with Jimmy's character over the coming episodes as he kind of deals with the grief and moves past it a bit. So, but we had a bunch of like Hector stuff. Hector is in the hospital. He is unresponsive and everything. So it very well could be. I'm still holding out that we've had a few fakes where I've thought, okay, maybe this is where he gets in the wheelchair. Maybe this is where he gets in the wheelchair. And so I still think that this might be one of the times that maybe this is where he gets in the wheelchair, but I'm holding out for like the chance that maybe he wakes up from this, right? And but I have a feeling like I'm pretty sure they're setting it up for this is when he becomes the way he is, right? So we'll there's also only so many seasons left. I think there's like 7 seasons of this total, and we're on 4. So 5, 6, 7. That's 3 seasons, yeah. But yeah, Gus knows about what Nacho did. They killed that guy. I don't know. Was that? I know the subtitles were calling him like Arturo or something like that. I don't know that we ever knew his full name, or maybe I just never wrote it down, kind of thing. But I know Nacho is like Nacho Varga or something like that. But did he have was Nacho his actual first name? I think maybe it was Victor Varga. I think I wrote it down like in season 1 or something, right? It might have been around like I wrote down Varga. I got that. I have Nacho written down. I have Varga written down. But I don't have... I mean, it's possible Victor Varga. Victor Varga sounds familiar. Like, when I say that, there's something there that, like, feels, like I've heard that. I guess I could check real fast because I'm just having always hearing him by Nacho, right? Has like confused me, even though I didn't think that was his like full name. Victor Varga. Oh, maybe it's not. I figured, like, some stuff would come up. Let's see. Nacho. Better call Saul. Nacho Varga. That's, like, all we got, I guess. Ignacio. Nacho Varga. Okay, so... Victor definitely wasn't, yeah, so I'm not quite sure who, when he said, like, let's go see Victor. I was trying to think of, like, who that is, but, I'm sure it's someone we know. I'm sure I've heard the name, and they were like, I'm just dumb, but either way, they said, let's go see Victor, and then they showed up there, so, anyway, regardless of all that, Gus, like, putting that, tying that guy up, hitting him and everything, telling him, like, oh, like, I know what you did, and then being like, I own you. Like, holy shit. That was intimidating as fuck, right? Like, oh my god. So I wonder how this is all gonna play out, because now with him dead, Nacho is gonna be kind of the lead one, unless the two brothers take up like some hand in it, right? So Nacho is going to be like doing the work for the Salamancas, it seems like, for now, and doing whatever Gus says. Like, if Gus says to like let the Salamancas fall, then he does that. But then if the brothers know, like, it's a really shitty position for Nacho, because I mean, pretty much if he's gonna juggle between doing whatever Gus wants him to do and not letting the brothers find out that, he's doing whatever Gus wants him to do, kind of thing, and not let them find out what's going on and what he did, right? So it's gonna be a really tough spot for Nacho, and like I said in like previous episodes, I don't think he was ever in Breaking Bad, so I have a feeling at some point before the season ends, I don't think Nacho is gonna get out of this and just retire with his father's business or something. But even though I really like his character and I don't want to see him die, right? But anyways, guys, I think that is going to be it for me. I think I talked about most stuff. I talked about the Jimmy stuff, the Kim stuff. I guess I didn't talk about the Mike stuff. That was kind of basic. We just kind of had him like following up with what he did last episode and saying that he's going to keep doing it. I gotta say, I kind of agree with Mike. Like, if anything ever were to happen and they were to question where that money, like why this guy is being paid, and they question some of the people at the facility and says, this guy's a security consultant that works for you guys. Have you ever seen him before? And they all say no. That's a bit fishy, isn't it? Like, I don't really see the harm in letting him do that, put a face to the name, so that way if anyone goes around asking, they'd be like, oh yeah, he's been around, right? Like, I've seen him. So, like, I feel like there's more on Mike's side than there is on Lydia's side of, like, how she thinks it's gonna make things worse. I can't imagine it would make things worse, right? So, I don't know. But I guess maybe people would, like, unless people start questioning, like, why do we need a security consultant kind of thing. I don't know. But we'll see. But, yeah. And then there was one more thing, right? There was, Jimmy calling Mike, looking up some of those little figures, or I don't know what to call them. They said Hummels, I think that's what they said. And seeing one's worth like $8,000 something dollars. So, like, is he gonna try to get Mike to like steal them so that way he can like sell them and pay like part of it to Mike or whatever? But once again, Jimmy doing his thing of like every now and then he goes on like the straight and narrow for like a good amount of time, but then it feels like he needs to have that release where he has to do something a bit shady. But once again, he's on the PPD now, so he's going to be very careful about what he does, because if he gets caught having a hand in this kind of thing, then it definitely wouldn't be great. So I guess we'll see how that all turns out. But yeah, love the episode, guys. Sorry for this. I felt like this discussion was a little bit scatterbrained. I apologize for that. I don't know why, but I had a hard time keeping my thoughts all in like order and everything of how I was going to talk about things. So hopefully I wasn't too bad. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you in my future reactions. I'm looking forward to seeing more. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out the link in the description below to check out my Patreon where you can see more of this, and I'll have the rest of it on there. So check all that out if you want to support the channel and what I do here. Very much appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye!